All right. Let's move into feelings. Please step right in. Come in, come in. No pushing, no shoving. Make your place here. Feel like you belong. All right? You're part of this. It's these books, it's me, and it's you. All right? We're off Google. We're off the Google. Too much information. Here on this channel, in this company, it's a done for you service. Imagine that, a done for you service. So you don't have to sort through the clutter of Google because I've done it for you already. Is that enough? Is that adding more value to our business relationship? Feelings. Oh, feelings. Feelings are like farts. They need to be experienced. You'll explode if you don't fart or have feelings. So you need feelings. You need to experience them. They're definitely acknowledged, right? And if you're standing in an elevator, they're acknowledged. And feelings need to be acknowledged. You need to be able to name them. That's all. That's a fart. Okay, that's a feeling. And actually, the exact feeling would be better. There's only 22 feelings. And then they need to be let go of. So you're not thinking back to your farts from last week, are you? So feelings the same way, right? We need to move on. A better feeling thought. So a lot of people use drugs and alcohol, right? And I have in the past and maybe in the future. Food to shopping, all sorts of stuff to move from the worst to the best. That feeling, to get that good feeling. So what I'm appealing to you now, and I didn't make it up, I've just developed on an earlier concept, and where I'm bringing forward the idea that you can move to better feelings in a natural step-by-step process of asking yourself a better feeling thought. All right? So there's only 22 feelings. And so the first time that I found out that there's only 22 feelings, because I thought it was just complete chaos, I was handed a list. I read a list, and I'll acknowledge the author when I remember her and his name. It's a couple duo. It's right here. Asking it is given. Huh. Look at that. See, we're using our library, everybody. So Asking It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks. On page 114, there's a list of feelings. It's 22. I'll read them off to you. So we'll go from bottom to top, okay? These are 22 categories of feelings. Depression, grief, fear, guilt, jealousy, hatred, revenge, anger, discouragement, blame, worry, doubt, disappointment, overwhelmed, frustrated, pessimistic, bored, content, hopeful, optimistic, positive expectations, enthusiasm, eagerness, love, empowerment, joy, knowledge, freedom, appreciation. And I think that's it. So there's 22, all right? Basically 22 feelings. Feelings have evolved with us as we have evolved. Feelings are here to help us reproduce, to continue, to live, to survive. Feelings are like a likely nudge, like a likely, you're pretty sure you're going in the right direction if you have a feeling or a feeling about something. It's important for our evolution. Remember, two very important things about feelings is that your blood sugar and water content plays a part in your feelings. So drink a gallon of water every day, a gallon of purified water every day, and stay off the sugar, or do your best to stay off the sugar, or at least notice if you're having crazy feelings that it might have to do with the 4 candy bars and whatever it is that you put in your body that's a lot of sugar. Okay? Just acknowledge it. So water content, blood sugar, feelings have evolved to help us reproduce and live, survive. And feelings are a likely nudge, okay? They aren't facts, but they head you off in a right direction. It's instinctual, right? It's not individual. There's the same 22 feelings for everybody. It's just where you spend your time. So my concept that I learned from Esther and Jerry Hicks on Asking It Is Given is that you might ask yourself a better feeling thought to move yourself up through the stages of feelings towards the top 6 feelings. So the top 6 feelings: love, knowledge, freedom, empowerment, appreciation, and joy. Love, knowledge, appreciation, empowerment, joy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Joy, love, knowledge, freedom, empowerment, and appreciation. That's it. So you want to know what yours is right now on this video? I'll help you for free because I love you. Think of something in your life that you do on a day-to-day basis that's important. So it might be feeding your dogs. It might be being a good wife. It might be your career. It might be your nutrition routine or your exercise routine or just getting out of bed and surviving a day. Whatever it is, parenting, pick something because you've got something. There's something you do on a day-to-day basis that you think about daily that you do. That's a kind of an order of concept. Organizing your home, having a clean house, pets, whatever it might be. Pick something now. Take a moment. Pick something now. All right. So when you do that task well, how do you feel? When it's going smooth, how do you feel? Ask yourself the question and pick one of the following 6 things. When you do that task well, keep it simple. When you do that task well, do you feel love, appreciation, empowerment, knowledge, freedom, or joy? Pick one. Pause the tape if you need to. So now that you've picked one, for me it's freedom. So when I'm being a good parent and I've done a good job as a parent, I feel free. Free for myself. My own selfish greatest feeling is the feeling of freedom. So yours might be joy, appreciation, the knowledge to pull it off, empowered, love, whatever it is. So it's sorted out. So now you're already on track to know your purpose in life. That top feeling for me is freedom. Yours might be love, appreciation. And it goes both ways, to be appreciated and to appreciate. Got it? To give love, to receive love. To give knowledge, to get knowledge. To empower others and to be empowered yourself. This is big stuff. And I'll get onto that later. But the idea is to move up through the scale of feelings to the top level so that you can feel good. And we want to feel good. Okay? Facts and don't care about your feelings, bullshit, all that secular talk. The truth is you want to feel good. So, and guess what? You're going to operate within your own values no matter what. And so are your friends and family. So care about yourself as much as you care about others, or care about yourself as if you were someone that you needed to take care of. All right? So you have the responsibility of caring for yourself. That means not minimizing yourself, a doting mother, minimizing herself to help others. That's not good. That's careful. And that you can find from the hunted expression on the mother's children's faces where they're hunted. That ain't healthy. She's minimizing herself and she's exaggerating others. That's careful. Or careless is exaggerating myself and minimizing others. Opposite ends. But caring is knowing others well enough to communicate your values in terms of theirs. So, like a kid or a dog or a person you work with, knowing them well enough to know what their values are so that you can communicate what you want in terms of their values. Caring. Anyways, moving up through the scale of feelings. So let's say you've got depression, grief, fear, guilt, jealousy, hatred, rage. And just aside here a moment, when I got this list, 22 feelings, I was shocked and surprised. It was about 20 years ago. And I'm like, what? There's only 22? And I'm a big memorizer. I do like to memorize things. I used to memorize phone numbers when it was important. Now, I took this list, I wrote them down on a card, and I went about memorizing them. I'm like, I'm going to remember them so that I can be current with my feelings, name how I feel. And that's a healthier emotional appeal. So I took the list. In 20 minutes, I had the bottom 11 memorized. And it took me, truthfully, 2 weeks to memorize the best 11. So you can kind of tell where I was in my life because my memorization skills adapted and learned those bottom 11. And it took me literally 2 weeks to learn the top 11 feelings. And anyways, that was the starting point for me. And we'll move on. So a better feeling thought sounds ridiculous. It's not intuitive to think that if you were feeling revenge or hatred, that you would decide what is discouraging about this, because it's one step up. And when you felt discouraged, you might say, and who do I have to blame? And what am I worried about? And who do I doubt, or what do I doubt about myself or others? And how am I disappointed? And where does it feel overwhelming? And what am I frustrated with? And how do I have a bad attitude, pessimistic about? And isn't it boring? What's boring about all this? Where could I be content? Where could I just be content about this? And then maybe a little bit hopeful. What's hopeful about this? And how can I be optimistic? And where can I have a positive expectation or positive beliefs? Where can I be enthusiastic, eager? And finally, arriving at your highest feeling: love, empowerment, joy, freedom, knowledge, and appreciation. So you see how I kind of skipped through those steps quickly? And I'm happy to share with you a PDF of the 22 feelings. It's out of this book, Ask and It Is Given, by the Jampolskys. And but it is basically that. But you can get a lot quicker than how I just described it. You can move from depression to grief to guilt to jealousy to hatred by asking yourself a better feeling thought. So what's a better feeling thought? You could skip steps too once you get good. So you could walk into being jealous right away and ask where you're discouraged. And you might stop at a discouragement to communicate to yourself or to somebody else how you're discouraged. And that nullifies it, if that's what that means. And you move on from that place. So I'm going to describe the 6 best feelings, okay? Freedom is rapport. Freedom is to be methodical. Freedom is the voice, the theater of your mind. So, people go to theaters because it gives your brain the ennobling power to be ennobled. You can make stuff up in your head. So freedom is the opportunity to be able to have a voice in your brain, the theater of your mind. Without freedom, you don't have that. Freedom to change the system. Freedom to be quirky. And you find it if you see yourself where the juice is not worth the squeeze. So if the juice is not worth the squeeze, you're not free. That's the question to ask. And then what you get from freedom is rapport. Rapport, that juicy, syrupy feeling between another person or even maybe yourself. Rapport, the stoic, chin poised voice being the theater of your mind. To be methodical, to know the order of things to get something done. To change the system, the freedom to change the system, and to be quirky. Quirky? Your own personal quirk? That's freedom, that's mine. So I'm pretty enamored by that one. However, the other 5 are most important as well, of course. So if if appreciation is your most important feeling, then you'd be good with your first appointments. So when you meet up with someone, you'll actually meet up with them because you appreciate their time and they appreciate you. To appreciate things is to notice the natural lines. There's no straight lines in nature, okay? There are no straight lines in nature. So if you appreciate things, you can appreciate the natural lines of the way things curl and move. To appreciate is to enculturate, to put forth your appreciation, to show the boundaries, the family, the patriotism, the faith, the enculturation. For appreciation is patience. You can appreciate patience. The absence of compulsion. So when you appreciate something, you're just appreciating it. You're not compelled to bring it closer or to keep it or to save it for yourself. You're just appreciating that it's there. Sterility is a question to ask. If you're very sterile, a germaphobe, you're not appreciation. You're not having appreciation there. You're a germaphobe. You're avoiding. Nonchalant is a question to ask. You're not appreciating if you're nonchalant about stuff. If you're a pump and dumper, visiting and injecting yourself and then escaping before they can appreciate you, or even before you can appreciate them, the pump and dump system. And appreciation is the last step of illusion. So if you are not appreciative, then you're still kind of living an illusion of pride, shame, success, failure. That's not appreciation. So, first appointment, you're there. The first time you meet somebody, you're there. Natural lines. The Seville process, meaning you can appreciate that there's many ways to get to an outcome, might be different than yours. How about that? That's appreciation, the Seville process. Patience, absence of compulsion are all appreciation. Empowerment. We're in the empowerment stage, but you're not alone. We need each other. So empowerment is being autodidactic. So learning for yourself about things, but you can get into trouble with that empowerment, because if you're on your own, learning on your own, then you miss the nomenclature, the style of conversations that experts in your field would be able to debate you and kind of probably beat you, because you're not in the culture of your empowerment. So if you're autodidactic, watch out for that nomenclature that you don't keep up with. Names for things, accepted names and meanings, words. Empowerment is off Google, in my belief. So you're not powerful if you're still using Google. And it's not ethereal. So empowerment is not ethereal, it's biological. So if you're feeling empowered because of karma or caprice, it just happened, or we grew apart. Oh my gosh. People are feeling empowered because they grew apart from their partner. I grow apart from my wife 5 times a day, and we don't break up. Bloody hell. Anyways, empowerment is being vulnerable. All right? Vulnerable shows your expertise. Your future expertise is in your vulnerabilities, because you're wanting to learn. A home rule. So you're empowered if you can solve things at home. If your house is, you're just using your paycheck to run your check and pen to run your home, then there's something wrong. You're not empowered. You're just displaying and pushing out to other sources your home rule. I call it a home rule. So using your home to do as much as you can inside your own home to survive. So if you can record your actual perception, if you can see ahead, rephacy, if you can put yourself in a place where others have been in the past or the future, if you could place yourself there, that's empowering. And question to ask, if you feel like you're a unicorn, oh, I'm special, then you're not empowered, because you're not special. What you do is special. How you portray yourself is special. But you yourself, you're not special. You're unique. You're not special. Nobody's special. But our actions are special. Special is a verb. All right. Moving on to knowledge. So if your most important feeling is knowledge, collecting information, which I'm kind of on the cusp of between freedom and knowledge. Knowledge, you're strong and you want knowledge if you're childlike versus childish. You know the difference between childlike, enjoying the shape of a leaf, or the sound of a chair being pushed across a cold floor and you hear it? That's childlike. Or looking for wordplay, or, connecting with something in nature? That's childlike. Or being innocent and curious and inquisitive? That's childlike. Or being content? Childlike. So care, I talked about care, careful, careless. If you have a premise about you, there's a premise behind things. We're not just doing stuff. To be inferential, to be willing, and willing means prepared to do something. That's knowledge. Real knowledge is being prepared to do something. If your mood matches what you want to communicate or what you want to say, then you're knowledgeable. If you know the snuck premise, so this is very important. So if you know the snuck premise, know the opinions of the jury, then you're knowledgeable. So learn what people have to say against you, the knowledge of the jury. Know the jury. And the big question to ask if you're completely not knowledgeable is insouciance. The action of a 2-year-old when you stub your toe beside a 2-year-old and your life feels like it's dying and the child looks up at you like nothing. That's Knowledge. Love? Well, to feel love is, if love is your most important thing, and that's cool, you don't have the illusion of success and failure. You have a scale of feelings. You understand this scale of feeling, moving up and down in the scale of feeling. Love is engendered. Okay, so you can see that you can produce, beget a situation, a condition, a feeling. You can bring rise to something. That's love. If you write to heal or write to feel, that's love. If you can gather scattered children, things are going crazy around here. There's 4 kids, one beating up another one, one's climbing a fence, one's drinking something you don't know what it is. If you can gather scattered children, that's love. If you can connect with people in a good way, that's love. If you can warm the lonely, reach out, empathy, exchange a smile with a stranger, to wait at the bus stop in a certain way with others, not overbearing, just warming the lonely. If you have integrity. So integrity is real value, which is keeping your word and having rapport. That's love. All right, so moving on to joy. Joy is simple. Joy is simply living without teaching or selling. So joy is you're not teaching and you're not selling. Joy is autonomic responses. So joy is when someone's made you a scrumptious meal, and it's that feeling, that elevated feeling of happiness or a feeling of goodness that you've enjoyed a scrumptious meal. Joy is celebration. Joy is when your kids show up and your eyes light up. You're not having joy if you're aloof, in the distance, sitting in your chair, smoking outside the building without participating, to being angry, angry. Or so for a joyful person, anger is a dubious luxury. So we have all these traits, and we want all these things, but there's certain things that we resonate the most with. So if it's for you appreciation, empowerment, freedom, knowledge, love, or joy, pick your spot, pick what you like. It can change. Like mine is moving from freedom to knowledge. I can feel it moving because this freedom, I have agency in my life. I can sit here with you and share this with you. I'm not squeezing this out in my spare time. I'm looking at this as a business. I'm building this YouTube channel so I can be free to know that we can create the village mentality. So that we can create the village mentality. So we can look out for each other. All right, lots of love. That's a scale of feeling. The scale of feelings, 22 feelings to make your way up and through to the top line without using external but more intimate, internal operating procedures. See how everything proves it in this show? See how you can prove it in this show where everything proves it? That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in information and entertainment where everything proves it. Not just these generalities. A big thing on YouTube right now is people are talking, well, the world works on generalities. Well, it's true. It does. It operates on generalities, but our individual, instinctive personalities come out and they're individual. So we've got to have a mix, a mix. Anyways, lots of love. Thanks for listening. That's my first run at feelings.